With Nvidia earnings today, these three AI altcoins could see a rally. Crypto.com is launching a new XRP product, and is the Fed's FOMC Minutes going to send the market higher? This is your Altcoin Buzz News. Hey, what's up everyone? My name is Cody, and if you're new here, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you know when we drop latest content. Follow us on Twitter, altcoinbuzz.io, and as always, not financial advice, and wish the best of luck in your crypto ventures. All right, good morning, you guys. Starting off today, we're hovering just under $109,000, and Bitcoin is in a bit of a kind of a weird spot for me. It looks like it wants to go a bit higher, but also it looks like it wants to go lower. So let me elaborate real quick. So on the weekly chart here, we've had 7 straight weeks of green candles. This doesn't happen very often without some kind of little, correction, some kind of red week. So we've had 7 straight weeks so far. Another thing is we swept the previous all-time high back in January at $109,000. On the weekly candle, we swept this and we closed back under, and now we swept it again and we're still closing back underneath. So to me, that looks like Bitcoin wants to cool off a little bit, but also at the same time, we also have stocks rallying and a lot of things going on. So there's a bit of conflicting signals. At the same time, there's also a Bitcoin conference going on right now. And historically, whenever conferences like that go on, we tend to sell off a bit. So I'm a bit conflicted right now. I don't have any major positions open in terms of trades because of that. But we're also putting in these lower highs. So we swept here, we put in these lower highs, we wicked above. We can't seem to close above it right now. So at the time of writing, it looks like we could go lower. Now, it wouldn't be the worst thing if we went lower, because if we went lower, we had a little bit of a sell-off, we cooled off a little bit. I think it'd be better if instead of we went to 120K and then we sold off 20K, I'd rather just go to 100K right now, cool off a bit. We'd do something like this, where we come down maybe 100K, do something like this. And so we're able to cool off a little bit now instead of going to 120K and then having some flash sell off where we go from 120 to 100K in a day. So I'd rather have something like this because I think this is a little bit more sustainable. We have 1 or 2 red weeks on the weekly candle, but we just still hover around here on the $100,000. We cool off a little bit and then go higher. To me, that's more sustainable for a longer term pump. But that's just what I would like to see. Doesn't mean Bitcoin is necessarily going to do that. So starting off today, we have a Skynet Insight saying the next 3 days will be the most important in 2025. We have the Bitcoin conference going on, which was started yesterday, and it goes until tomorrow on Thursday. We have FOMC minutes and the Fed balance hit this week. I mapped out every catalyst of what they mean for crypto, and here's the timeline. So it all started yesterday, May 27th, with the Bitcoin conference in Las Vegas. This isn't just a fan meetup, it's a platform for political positioning. Eric Trump, Donald Jr., Saylor, Roast, and Wilbrick are all confirmed. There's real expectation that Ethereum gets major narrative push. The best case scenario, Eric Trump praises Ethereum as innovation backbone. Media runs with it, ETH pumps, meme coins, and Solana ecosystem follow. Worst case, nothing meaningful, and market sells the silence. This is the case that historically has worked out, where nothing really happens. They go to these conferences, they talk about pretty much the same thing they always talk about, the same talking points. Nothing new really comes out of these conferences, and then the market kind of sells off. That's historically what's happened. And then we have today, May 28th, brings the release of the FOMC Minutes, the real market mover. Everyone looking for one thing, signals of a pivot or its delay. Minutes expose how close we are to the first rate cut or the next hike. No press conference is going on today. So it's not FOMC today, it's the minutes from the last FOMC. So greater detail of what everyone at the FOMC was thinking, how soon they want to cut, what they're actually thinking, if it's dovish or if it's, hawkish. So no press conference, no spin, just raw data from inside the Fed. If it's a positive read, officials debating downside risks and hinting at easing. Bitcoin and NDX spike together. Risk flows return and shorts get blown out. The negative read, a consensus for staying tight to fight sticky inflation. And then with May 29th is when the macro floodgates open. You got 3 data bombs in a single session. US Q1 GDP revision, initial jobless claims, and the Federal Reserve balance sheet liquidity map. If GDP is revised downwards plus jobless claims spike, recession alarm. That nukes risk on assets and creates a liquidity rush to safety. If GDP is revised upwards plus a jobless stable, the market breathes again. And then also on May 30th, we get the April PCE, which is the Fed's favorite inflation print. This report is arguably more important than the CPI or payrolls now. Powell has openly said PCE guides policy more than headline CPI. This is your final catalyst before summer volatility takes over. If low PCE, markets breathe, Bitcoin retests 105, Solana and AVAX wake up. High PCE, markets reprice Fed policy, sharp pullback, and stablecoin inflows. Even a neutral PCE can drive big moves if expectations were extreme. So all in all, there's a lot of things going on this week that could either pump or dump the market. We have the crypto conferences, we have PCE coming out, we have all kinds of things. And so to me, it's a bit of a sticky situation where we could have a slight sell-off, which wouldn't be the worst, or we could just continue to pump from here if all the inflation data is good. Coin Bureau saying Metaplanet was Japan's #1 most bought stock last week. Japanese investors are using NISA accounts at SBI Securities, Japan's largest online broker, to gain Bitcoin exposure. Since NISA is tax-free, they won't pay capital gains tax on their Bitcoin gains. So Japan, I believe, has some of the biggest, capital gains tax on Bitcoin. But they have, Metaplanet, who's basically Japan's MicroStrategy, buying a bunch of Bitcoin, and so they're able to then just buy Metaplanet stock as a way to gain exposure to Bitcoin, similar to MicroStrategy in the US. And we also have a crypto RS saying more companies are adding Bitcoin to their balance sheet. DDC, a small Asian food firm, has announced the acquisition of 21 Bitcoin to their treasury. The company is looking to accumulate 500 Bitcoin within 6 months and 5,000 Bitcoin in 3 years. So a lot of companies are going to start doing this. And I just want to share this example as well. As more companies add Bitcoin to their balance sheet, it's going to become a more regular thing. Hey Americans, we found an exchange that gives you the best of both worlds. Canadians too. Want to trade spot markets on over 400 trading pairs and without KYC? You can. Want to trade perpetual markets on over 150 trading pairs with KYC that accepts Americans and Canadians too? You can. The only exchange we've seen in the market that lets you do both simple spot trading without KYC and perps trading with KYC that Americans can use is BYDFi. And now they have some great new updates that make it better and easier to use than ever before. We recently talked about BYDFi's new MoonX product. It's amazing, all the coins you want from blue chips to meme coins. And now with your MoonX address, you can get one-click withdrawals, and along with it, the futures trading grid is now on your PC, so you can trade from anywhere. Plus, for the next few days, you can take part in the trading carnival on BYDFi. You can share in 100 SOL or get part of a $20,000 airdrop of USDT just for trying MoonX. So try MoonX and BYDFi today. You get all the coins you want to trade, both in the very short term and long term. You can also get some extra bonuses today using the link down below. Then moving on today, we have 3 AI altcoins which could pump today on Nvidia earnings. So we have Nvidia coming out today with earnings for its Q1 report. It is pumping today, and actually overall it looks pretty good. It looks like it wants to continue higher right now. But overall, we're gonna have to see what happens with Nvidia earnings later today. They're not supposed to be that good. They're not forecasted to be that great with different chips, tariffs, DeepSeek, all this stuff. So it's not supposed to be very good. But if it does come out good, then I think this could pump, and AI altcoins as well could pump as well. So starting off, we have Grayscale saying, introducing the artificial intelligence crypto sector. The AI sector includes 20 tokens with a combined market cap of $20 billion, up from just $4.5 billion in Q1 of 2023. So Grayscale put out this report yesterday, and they shared a bunch of tokens that they're in, and BitTensor Tau is one of the top ones, and it's one of the ones that has done the best this month as well. So Tau is quietly moved to the 31st ranked crypto on Earth by market cap, surpassing Uni, Aave, Near, Aptos, Caspa, and ICP. So BitTensor's Tau has AI subnets, and that's part of the reason why Tau is skyrocketing as well. It's also in the AI narrative. And so BitTensor actually looks decent from here. I will say on the daily chart, it's starting to make these lower highs here. So not the best, but overall it doesn't look terrible. If it comes back down here and retests around $412, if it holds above this line, it looks like it could go higher. So it doesn't look terrible. But I don't like these strong wicks above, so I think it needs to come back down here. Most likely take out some of these wicks below before it will go higher, because a lot of people are talking about Tau. A lot of people are already in it, so I could see people being selling this off as we go higher. So overall, not terrible, but I think it needs to consolidate a little bit longer, and I think we'll go probably towards $559. This next level of resistance soon. Now, the second AI coin is Near, and we have Near actually sharing this Harvard Business School study they are in now. And they say self-sovereignty in the age of AI is near. We also have Cypress saying the financial system is being rebuilt from the protocol level, and AI agents are at the center of it. Coinbase's launch X402, embedding stablecoin payments directly into HTTP, the core language of the internet, in partnership with AWS, Anthropic, Circle, and Near. This isn't just an upgrade, this is infrastructure for AI native finance. And then we have top chains by daily active addresses, and we have Near here right behind Solana as of May 23rd. So Near is coming in. We also have Nansen saying top 5 chains by transaction growth percentage this week, and Near is number 3 at plus 17%. So Near is starting to look pretty good. And I will say, I looked at the chart today, and the chart looks really good as well. On the daily chart, the thing about the daily chart is when I draw these out, It usually takes a while because we're trading on the daily chart. So overall, this looks like a good trade to me, but it could take a little bit. We have reclaimed this level, and so we're starting to make these higher highs and higher lows on it near. So overall, to me, this looks really good. But the only thing is, if this were to play out, this could take a couple weeks for this to play out. But overall, I like this. So this is something you can maybe buy with a spot bag or something and kind of forget about it. But if we do go lower on Bitcoin, I do expect us to probably come down and retest this level around $2.19, which is why I'd probably have a stop loss right below these lows around $2.60. So if we drop down below here, we're probably going back down to this level. But overall, if the market continues higher from here, I do like Near, and I think it looks really good right now. So Near is the second AI coin today. We have Quant for the third token. So we have Quant over Ledger is at the core of the Digital Security Sandbox initiative by the FCA and Bank of England, and recently added use cases for Euroclear using it in government bonds. Quant is literally disrupting and tokenizing the UK. We also have Quant saying money wasn't meant to just move, it was meant to work. Today's finance teams face rising complexity, growing compliance burdens, and the pressure to do more with less. QuantFlow transforms money with a simple transaction into a next-generation workflow with advanced programmability and automation that makes money work for you, meaning you can move faster, remove friction, and accelerate growth. Now, Quant is another token that's taken off, but we have missed the initial pump. We are coming into resistance here around $121. Quant has had a major pump recently. Now, I would like to rebuy if it comes down and retest somewhere for a higher low around 100 and 104, 103-ish dollars. Somewhere around here, if we came down and made a higher low, something like this, that would be a good place to buy. Likewise, if it just continues higher and we have a reclaim of this level, $121, that's probably another good buy going back towards these highs around $169, $170 from early December. But I would like to see us come down here first. I think this would be probably, preferable instead of just going a straight line up and then consolidating here, because then we'd have a huge gap here of empty space. So I would rather come down here and buy it here instead of it coming all the way back up here and just buying this retest, because then there's a lot of air below this. So I think if we were to buy Quant, somewhere around 103 is a good area. And as we're coming into resistance now, I wouldn't be too surprised if we have a small pullback at some point. Then moving on, we have Crypto.com says, XRP Army, it's time to show your strength. XRP contracts are now available for strike options. Predict XRP's price in the next 20 minutes to potentially profit, and you can trade with just $10. So you can now buy options on Crypto.com for XRP, which is another good financial instrument to trade XRP. Then we also have the Ripple odds of an ETF, a spot ETF. We have the regular one. So since it's been delayed multiple times, we actually have the odds rising on XRP ETF approval in 2025. So right now, there's an 84% chance, you can see the jump over the past year as we've had multiple delays come out for the spot ETF. Right now, we're saying at just about an 84% chance that the XRP spot ETF will come out this year. Now, like I said, we had the futures ETF, which also got delayed a couple times. But overall, it wasn't a huge pump for the market because it's futures. Now we can short it, big institutions can short XRP. So it wasn't super bullish in the short term for XRP. And we're pretty much just sitting in the mid range here. Nothing too much to do. I mean, if you're a day trader, you can, long here with a potential stop right under here because we're at the mid range. So if you expect it to go higher, that's not too bad. But for me, I'm waiting for it to come back down here, either to $2 and, $2.02, somewhere around here, or I'm waiting for it to reclaim this level here for the top of the range around $2.60. I think, if Bitcoin sells off, we'll probably see something like this. We'll probably actually, more so, it'll look like this. It'll come down here. It'll take out these lows and then reclaim this level. And that's where I'd want to get in once we reclaim these levels. I think if Bitcoin, sells off, this is the more likely case. But if Bitcoin just continues up from here, I could see us reclaiming this range as well. And this is another place I would take a trade as well, at least to these highs around, what is this, $2.90, just around $3, somewhere around there. I could see as us going to the next level immediately after. And then moving on, we have Kathy Wood of ARK Invest calling Solana anti-fragile, saying this.
Solana has been very interesting. It is what I would call anti-fragile in that it is really one of the few protocols that has gone through a full market cycle, including 2021 when Sam Bankman-Fried was a huge supporter of Solana. So everyone thought, okay, well, that's that. And here we go. It resurrected. And not only that, in July of 24, the number of new developers developing to the Solana ecosystem surpassed that of Ethereum and became the highest. So I think I always say follow the developers. And it is catering, this network, while Ethereum is much more institutional, I would say, Solana is catering to and attracting the consumers because It is much lower cost, and it's much more agile, quicker adding updates and so forth. At ARK, one of the things we look for in a new technology is falling costs and accelerating uptake, and that's certainly Solana.
And we also have CryptoRS saying bullish Solana price fractal aims for $260. Similar to October 2024, a breakout above 180 could trigger a sharp upward rally. So we have this chart here of a potential price fractal of Solana, where we are consolidating underneath this level of resistance. So a consolidation for a long period of time underneath resistance is typically bullish because it means it's not selling off immediately and going back down. So consolidation under resistance for an extended period of time is bullish and will usually break up sharply. Now I'll show you this on Solana. So overall, Solana does look pretty good. We are consolidating underneath here. And usually when you do consolidate under resistance, which is this $180 level, usually breaks straight back above, and then we don't give a perfect retest. So I don't have it drawn here where we would retest this level, perfectly. We wouldn't come back up and then test this perfectly and continue higher. If it is bullish, and usually when it does consolidate like this, it likes to break up and not give you an entry, and then it consolidates a little bit higher, and then it continues breaking above. So that's something that could happen with Solana, where you wouldn't get this really perfect entry. So it's a little bit harder in these bull markets because it consolidates underneath resistance and then breaks straight back above and doesn't give you an area to enter and then continues higher. So that's something that could happen for Solana. But I also drew this out in case we do go lower on Bitcoin. I do think it is still a possibility that Bitcoin goes down towards, the mid to low $100,000, mid to low $100,000. And if that's the case, we could sweep these lows around $160 and then continue higher, which is totally fine. We would break through this resistance, I believe, pretty quickly, and then come back and retest this. And I think we're probably going towards 226 pretty soon, this next level of resistance. And if we break that, 260 as well is on the table, which is right about here. Yeah, 260 for another high around here. So that is Solana. And lastly, today we have Stanford graduates deploy $28 million fund to support crypto startups. So we have a venture fund, Blockchain Builders, has successfully closed an oversubscribed $28 million fund designed to provide support for cryptocurrency startups. And the fund has already deployed more than $16 million to pre-seed and seed stage blockchain ventures with ties to California schools and other top institutions. Some of its portfolio companies include modular artificial intelligence firm Zero G, supercomputer group Nexus Labs, and open access AI cloud provider Hyperbolic. Blockchain Builders is on track to deploy the remaining $12 million in capital by the end of the year, adding that many of its funded projects are preparing for token generation events, a major fundraising mechanism for blockchain companies. The capital will be particularly used to back projects focused on the intersection of AI and blockchains, as well as the finance industry's adoption of blockchain technologies, according to the fund. So pretty much on theme for today, it's more investments into AI and blockchain. And overall, Bitcoin is still hovering around $109,000. It is possible we break up from here, but it's also possible with all the events going on today that we do sell off a little bit more. So even if we came back up to 109.5, we could touch this and then continue lower as well. So just watch out for today. I'm not saying we can't go higher, but I also do expect at some point we are going to go lower because we've had 7 straight green weekly candles. And this is kind of crazy. We can't just continue to go parabolic forever. So I do expect a little bit of a pullback at some point. So just be prepared in case that does happen. You don't want to get blown up, especially before the major altcoin season comes. So that is it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you tomorrow.